I just did a post about a woman with abortions. Now I'm coming back discussing a military family member. Speaker Mike Johnson did what most speakers have never done in 25 years. He went to a call-in show in D.C. because he's been doing press conferences every day about the shutdown. So he decided to go to a talk show where people can call in. Republicans had a phone number. Democrats had a phone number. A Republican spouse, a Republican military spouse called in, and I'm going to speed her up, but I want you to hear what she's concerned about.
On the Republican line, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Samantha, you're on with Speaker Johnson.
Hi, Mr. Johnson. So my question or comments are related to what you said yesterday about not being open to pass any legislation to ensure that military gets paid. I'm sure you can tell by my voice I'm very shaky. Just want you to hear a little bit about my family. I have two medically fragile children. I have a husband who actively serves his country. He suffers from PTSD from his 2 tours in Afghanistan. If we see a lapse in pay come the 15th, my children do not get to get the medication that's needed for them to live their life because we live paycheck to paycheck. I heard you earlier say that you side with President Trump on anything that he says. Well, I just read an article this morning that said he absolutely wholeheartedly believes that there needs to be legislation put in so that we do not miss a paycheck. You have the power to do that. And as a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die. We don't have the credit because of the medical bills that I have to pay regularly. You could stop this, and you could be the one that could say military is getting paid. And I think that it is awful, and the audacity of someone who makes 6 figures a year to do this to military families is insane.
Now, I'll give you a little bit of Mike Johnson's response, but I won't give you all of it. Here it goes.
All right, Samantha.
Samantha, I'm so sorry to hear about your situation. The reason I've been so angry this week, and they've been calling me out on media, Johnson's angry. I am angry because of situations just like yours. I have a big military district, and my district is the home of the Global Strike Command at Barksdale Air Force Base and Fort Polk, the Joint Readiness Training Center. I have one of the biggest military districts and military families in America. I have a lot of airmen and soldiers who are deployed right now, and they have young families at home, and they have children in health situations like yours. This is what keeps me up at night. I want you to hear something very clearly. The Republicans are the ones delivering for you. We had a vote to pay the troops. It was the continuing resolution 3 weeks ago.
She's a Republican. I guarantee you she voted for Donald Trump. If she said, hey, I'm a Republican and I'm ashamed of my party, that lets me know you voted for this. He had the audacity. Well, first of all, I thought it was pretty funny that the commentator cut her off, but she was kind of going on a tangent, but she was concerned. Most military families, they are living paycheck to paycheck. We did it. I did it. We lived paycheck to paycheck. I remember this one time because we had a certain budget for groceries, and the only thing that we could afford was those dollar Lunchables because based on my income, my children did not get free lunch. So we either had to pay for lunch or they had to bring their own, and it was cheaper for us to bring their own. So we would go get those dollar Lunchables, and I'll never forget this. Broke my goddamn heart. We had done that so much that my son, my second oldest, he's 22 now, he came up to us. He came up to me and said, "Dad, can we eat something else for lunch? Because I don't want to eat that no more." Like that's all we could afford at the time. Broke my heart. I said, "Kim, put them shits back and get the Subway Lunchables." And them suckers was like $3-4 a piece. It hurt the pocket, but hey, get them boys them Subway Lunchables. Don't get them dollar shits no more. But I just want to throw it in there. And that's not saying that we were being irresponsible with our finances. We were just living paycheck to paycheck for the most part. Most military families do live paycheck to paycheck. That's why she's concerned. She's in Fort Belvoir. That's in Virginia. That's in the D.C. Beltway DMV area. It's very expensive up there. And even with the BAH, basic allowance for housing that she's getting, is probably not enough to take care of the rent or the mortgage, the light, gas, water, utilities, internet, whatever, phone bills, cell phone bills. And then on top of that, she got kids that got special needs and they need a certain medicine where the money comes out of their pocket. She's concerned. She doesn't have base medical health care. She has a primary care doctor on the base, but then there are a lot of times where they got to get referred out in town. And when they get referred out in town, they got to pay that copay when they go out there. And that copay is a mother. And then if she can't get her meds on base, she got to get them things at CVS or some pharmacy out in town. And she got to pay that copay too. That's why she called. That's why she's concerned. And she said that he has the power. He does. He can go back right now today. He can go back right now today, open up the House, pass a bill to where only government workers get paid or military get paid, and then shut it down again. He said he passed it with the continuing resolution. That continuing resolution was only for 7 weeks. That CR ends a week before Thanksgiving, and we'll be back in the same fucking scenario. So he threw her under the bus and said, to hell with your children, to hell with your Medicare and your expenses. I did my job. I passed that 7-week bill, and I'll be back after 7 weeks to pass another 7-week bill. This is what the Republican Party is doing. But here's the other kicker. That woman still proves that she don't give a fuck about nobody but herself, because she said, go back, open up Congress just to pay the troops so I can be taken care of. To hell with everybody else. What do you think?